My name is George Luna Peña. I'm with the KUNM Youth Radio Project. Today is November 16th, and we are at the Freedom of the Internet Town Hall with Representative Ray Garduño. How are you doing, Representative?
Doing good. Thank you very much. And thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
Sure. So I just have a couple of questions for you. My first question, it might seem like a really simple question, but Representative Garduño, how often do you use the Internet and what for?
Well, I actually use it on a daily basis. As city councilor, one of the avenues, one of the ways that we keep in contact my office and constituents is through the internet, and that means a lot of things. I have a Facebook page, but I also have Twitter, but primarily I have a blog. And on that blog, there's a lot of information that we put out for folks. Obviously, emails are something that is a staple for us to communicate, and communicate in a very timely and appropriate, basis.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like the internet is really important to your office.
No, absolutely. I can't imagine not being able to do it without internet, because I think today it's just an expected situation, and it's certainly an efficient way of doing it. And the greatest part of it is that I think with the constituency that I represent, it's even more important that we continue using the internet, but we continue using it in a way that is seamless and it's effortless and it's available. That's one of the things that I've been working on and working for.
Okay. And so to kind of piggyback off that, at the moment there's large corporations that are attempting to control the internet. What are your thoughts about this, and what would you tell the FCC about this?
As a city councilor, I understand how important it is to have legislation, but I also understand how important it is to be the folks who essentially make legislation happen. FCC is charged with making sure that our airwaves, whether it's broadband or VHF or UHF, is absolutely free, accessible. We have already given too much of our microwave and our radio waves away. I realize that people pay a fee. It's not free, and very few of us can afford to pay the kinds of fees that are paid by large corporations. So to your question, what would happen if some of those corporations were successful in essentially sequestering or somehow privatizing the internet? It would be disastrous. It would be absolutely disastrous. Not only would people not be able to communicate with each other on a free basis, but it would also narrow the folks that can use then the internet, not only because of the money involved, but because of the content control that would happen.
And so what specifically do you think this might mean for some of the communities that are already disenfranchised, or some of the poorer communities?
I think there would be a level of hopelessness, a level of somehow that the future would not be something that they would be able to participate in, at least at that level, where they would have free and good access to information and to education, healthcare, many things that could happen, should happen with a free internet. And I have to be sure that we say this, because one of the things that the argument it revolves around right now is free internet versus controlled or privatized internet. Well, we still don't have a lot of folks who are able to access the internet. Whether it's a rural setting, whether it's urban setting that people just can't afford it, there's no access to it. At one time, Albuquerque was touted as being one of the cities that would become wireless throughout. It never did happen. I would love to, as a city councilor, begin that discussion again, because I think that it's absolutely necessary for pockets, for areas of town that right now don't have access and may not have access because of the situation where we don't have servers, or people who feel like they want to go into an area of town that may not be able to afford it, or is not affluent enough to be able to pay for those fees.
Okay. And I'm definitely glad you touched on that point. That was actually going to be my next question. Mm-hmm. So with that, is there anything else that you'd like to add, Representative Garduño?
Well, I want to make sure again that folks understand that this is not a fight over which way it should go. It's free and it should stay that way. The argument for me is, how much wider can we expand this? Don't we want to have everybody take advantage of this ability? In fact, I see the future of the internet being the connection between all of us, whether rural or urban, whether affluent or not. that we should have the ability to talk to each other at whatever level and however we want to do it, without the possibility of being, to my view, censored, or certainly, to my view, being told what we can and can't discuss.
Okay, well, I think that's a great way to end it. Thank you so much for being with us.